been very responsive in the past 4 years. I think we could do better.
Right.
I think we want to see, we want to hear something about this. It's wrong. It's wrong.
That's all for the news on the AM Club. Remember that the news continues when you visit mx24.app/floating voices for the on there on. Take a read. My name is Augustine Adam Kofi Saint. Enjoy the rest of the show.
For the 120-day social contract that we have with His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, which one are you looking forward to like the most?
If you ask me which one, I'm looking forward to all of them.
All of them. Because every single day should count.
Yes, and then if you look at it carefully, some are linked.
Yeah.
Some are linked. So with the appointment of ministers within 14 days, and then having the leanest number of ministers, having working on the economy. So it all boils down to it connects to each other. So picking one will be very difficult.
So His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, like you know, we're going to be staying behind your back. We're supporting you, but we just don't want you to look like a liar. So we're going to stay here with you to make sure that this 120-day social contract goes through to the end of it.
Yeah.
We're counting every day. How many? Let's start counting. How many days now?
So tomorrow is going to be a week.
Since inauguration is 7 days.
Yeah.
Right after this.
Visit www.mx24online.com for news, exclusive behind-the-scenes videos, up-to-the-minute sports updates, and the latest broken pen stories now. Experience more of MX24 Online. Visit mx24online.com today. MX24. Fun, fearless, and factual.
You know how it is. It's a Monday morning. Some people are happy. Some people are crying. Some people are smiling. Some people are weeping. Good morning, Mimi. You're looking very angelic.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I appreciate you coming through.
I like your height too. Reason why I'm liking your height, you see.
You know I'm like, an angel like that.
Yeah, but you can't live in my area with your height. By the time you will move from my area to this part of town, to become light tom brown.
Which area is that? So we tell Mr. President, because right now, dear, Mr. President
Mr. President knows. See, they don't know what road. The former Minister of Roads, I made this slide. You see, road sector, a minister comes to stand in front of everyone and tells us what he told us, that the road will be ready in November. I didn't have to even speak because I knew the duration of the contract will expose them. And it did. In as much as the soil is very compact, it's going to take time for them to get it raised to the level they want, construct all the culverts, and then asphalt it. Let me give you insider info. They just finished construct erected. I'll just be truthful. Because I pass by the place every day before I get to my house. This one, I tell the truth.
Now he's no longer Minister of Roads.
Yeah, so honorable. His Excellency.
It's a responsibility in So
no
now the new minister would now have to oversee that project. So
yet to be named.
Please.
So the Dodowa Road.
The Dodowa Road.
Yeah,
please
Adenta Dodowa Road.
Adenta Dodowa. That Adenta Dodowa or Yarefa or Ibi area towards Dowinya. Is it Dowinya?
No, you go
Dodowa actually. Somanya. That area, whoever the minister, the MPs, the
so there are 4 constituents.
all of them need to be laid. Those who have been in government for the past 8 years, they have to be laid on the table and stripped.
Oh,
because I lived in Adenta for 3 years, and I was always very angry. I was an angry girl. Whilst I was battling with water, I was battling with bad road.
Sorry.
Good morning.
Sorry.
MP elect.
No, now
he's no longer MP. They've all been sworn in. So, MP of Adenta.
No, but with the roads, I don't think we can blame the MP.
No, but you're supposed to. They don't do roads.
Lobby.
He should go and lobby.
And they lobby. I'm not defending them.
Good morning,
they lobbied, and then it was in the.
I'm calling him darling now because now he's back to being MP. I can't blast him. So good morning, Adam Ramadan. Good morning, Honorable. Speaker of Parliament says they've been officially handed over the name Honorable. So
I don't know why. I don't know why. Oh, it's true.
I am over and done with you. Get into what is trending, buddy.
Okay, so listen, you can always follow us. Our X handle is at MX24GH, MX24GH. That's the place that you get everything hot. As someone is eating kala with cocoa, we move. So I don't know why Mimi is laughing, but you know. A lot of things are happening since the president came. It looks like every day we get at least two how do I put it, bits of information.
Yes.
At least
press releases of the press releases. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm like it.
Oh.
I like this government because they are working. It just has to show working.
This one, the show working is small.
The show working is small. The information is plenty, but the show. But it will all come together. You wait. We trust our leader.
So today we are waiting for at least 2 more press releases.
And regarding what and what?
No, they are shockingness. Yeah, they are shocking.
You're waiting for 2 shocks. One has actually been released. I don't know if that's what is over there. This was posted 30 minutes ago, so I'm believing that. Let me see citation. Yes, that's it.
Yes.
This was released 30 minutes ago, and so we already have it. I mean, look at what we're doing. We're up to date with everything that is.
Lord.
See, God, me and the presidency are doing this job together.
So, it appears that now all the board members, it is doing kokwasa.
How's it kokwasa?
Yeah.
What is doing what?
It's doing kokwasa.
What's that?
So last week,
I'm going to read from my phone. This guy is not helping us.
No, okay, I'll get into it. But let me.
You are reading to yourself. What's the meaning of that?
Build up to this.
Build up.
So last week we heard that the MMDCs and the district heads for all the various assemblies and municipal assemblies
have been.
Yeah, it was just one letter.
Everybody's gone home.
See, before you become a DC, you know the struggle you go through. After you lobby and then they'll go and do 2/3 on you. See the process, you'll be named and then they'll go and do 2/3 on you. Now, chairman comes, His Excellency.
One letter.
Matron Krata, sign.
One letter.
Everybody has gone
one
home.
letter. I was saying that the impact on the impact this will have on the society or on the country is that so many projects and social interventions are going to be halted for a bit. But this will only happen if there have not been any plan before dissolving or
no, but some people have taken over. Some people were told to take over. So,
absolutely.
They
are not come to review books and see what has been happening for continuation, and that would take.
No, the people taking over are already there.
That's
so
what
they already know. They are not coming to review anything.
Listen to me.
Hey,
listen to me.
Calling me for this morning. Yeah.
It is Ghana we day.
Oh yeah, that.
It is not that like the UK that when one government comes, work continues as usual. It's business. It's not like that. Someone will tell you, I'm now coming. I wasn't in actual position. So I'm now coming to review or look or investigate. It is going to take time, but hopefully that isn't going to happen in this government. Let's move on.
Anyways, so let me quickly get to it. Quick communication from the presidency this morning, and let's get into it. In accordance with the Presidential Transition Act of 2012 Act 845, all members of statutory boards, corporations, commissions, and councils appointed by the president or a former minister of state cease to hold office on 7th January 2025, following the assumption of office of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama. So, in simple terms, all the people who were, this matter, board chair of ECG, go home. Board chair of Ghana Water, you have gone home. Board chair of Ghana Airport Company, go home. Yeah. Board chair of Ghana Post, Ojugu bye-bye. Everybody.
Who's the board chair of Ghana Post again? I hope it's not that person. It's the person. It's Bice.
Is
that Bice? It's Bice.
No, he was MD.
The boss. Okay, imaginary. Okay.
But the board people of the other places have mentioned me. I'm greeting all of them. I'm not going to mention anybody's name.
Okay.
So actually, this is a formal notice to all affected members, and for the avoidance of doubt, this excludes commissions that are independent constitutional creations. In due course, the affected boards, commissions, councils, and statutory corporations will be reconstituted according to their respective enabling laws. The president takes this opportunity to thank all affected members for their service and wishes them well in their future endeavors. So, their future endeavors, it means that selection is not catching you this time. The management of these bodies are directed until further notice to seek clearance from the chief of staff before taking any major decisions. Yeah, signed. Honorable.
I think it connects with something I said this week, last week, and even this morning, that situations are going to change for a lot of people, but your resilience will help. So today, my DDOV goes to, I don't know if they know already.
Oh, they already know.
But usually, is this thing served to them before it comes to the public, or it comes to the public before they get to know?
I don't think the government would write to each and every one of them. It's just to the public and everybody.
It's public, everybody knows. So now, 30 minutes ago, this was released. And so, yes, listen, they all know now that they don't have their jobs. What's next for them? And this brings me to what Speaker of Parliament, Alban Kingsford Bagbe said this morning. In fact, the video we played this morning. He said, the people who serve and have the interest of the country at heart continue to be relevant even in different governments. They continue to grow and expand. They become even more relevant even in the government that does not directly affect them, like the government that they don't directly belong to.
Yeah.
And he happens to be a testament to that. He served in the NDC for as long as anybody could remember.
Yeah.
But a new government comes and appoints him as the Speaker of Parliament.
No, he was voted for.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, for him to even come up as a conversation is almost, one that one will not even consider, right?
Electric night. That is the way I call that night.
Right. Yeah. So for me, in my opinion, this comes to serve. And we've had people like Honorable Nuyama Donko, may his beautiful soul rest in perfect peace, who has also enjoyed this. We've seen a lot of leaders who were, as it were, appointed by one government, but a new government comes in and then they bring them back into office because they serve diligently.
The word underlined is
diligently.
But how many of the people will this word encompass, would fall in that bracket?
We'll see. You see, it's been dissolved, but you never know. Tomorrow morning we say, oh, this one has been brought back, this one has been brought back. You never know.
We wish them
for God and country
all the best.
Absolutely.
Let's get into what's trending, and it looks like this morning it's all football. Yeah.
Yesterday I glutted over my son's pain.
Which team does your son support?
Arsenal, right? Arsenal played yesterday and lost there.
Yeah. For Arsenal fans, good morning. Yes, I know. I've said a lot of things about your team. You are not happy. But I'll repeat it again and again. Your coach is quickly becoming a Tony Pulis of modern era. To move from being compared to one of the greatest coaches on earth in the shape of Pep Guardiola, you've trickled down. Now you are being compared to set pieces. Tony Pulis. In your face. Anyways, let's get into it.
You know, I advised this boy yesterday that, listen, football is you have an early morning tomorrow. Go and sleep. When I stepped out small, the next thing I saw was he has updated his status. 1-4, I'm going to sleep. I said, you don't listen, this boy, you don't listen. When I advise you, don't listen. So, yeah, I had a good laugh yesterday. I deliberately rolled on the floor just to annoy him.
So you support Arsenal?
Arsenal, can you imagine?
I want to have a conversation.
You need to have a conversation with him.
What did he see?
I don't even know. And do you know what his birthday wish was? To get an Arsenal jersey.
Oh, and
with his name on it.
And I know that was But I still want to have a conversation.
You should.
Yeah.
I'm going to give his number to you. You call him.
Yeah. It's very simple.
Quick conversation.
Why Arsenal?
Where did he get that motivation?
What have you seen them win?
Can you?
That is my question. Anyways, let's get into what's trending in Ghana. So Madrid is trending. Yesterday they were walloped. Yeah.
They too?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
They were disgraced. Previously, they went to the Arabian Gulf to go and collect a series of awards, and Vinicius Jr., and this, and that. Their next trip to the Arabian Gulf was not. They were humiliated. Well predicted here on the show, on Off the Cuff on Friday as well. So they have been dealt with properly, and that's why they are trending at number 1.
Interesting.
With most of the trend is made up of memes, and they are trolling Madrid bitterly. Very, very well.
As supposed to.
And quickly following them is another team that lost yesterday as well. Arsenal, the gunners, they were firing blanks. Their guns were not pulling. Yeah. So even with...
You are just rude. Oh. You are just rude.
Oh, no, but that's...
The fighting was blank.
Yeah, they were firing blanks. Yeah. And they finally got the goal from Abu Zegzi. Vim. So they also lost, and they are out of the FA Cup. They are out of the FA Cup.
Totally,
Yeah, this means that they are the team that Manchester United has knocked out the most in the competition, raising it to about 9 times. So it's a big loss for them. That means -1 trophy for them this season. Now it's looking very bleak. They say Arsenal's season is always looking like a series on TV. They are always waiting for next season. Let's continue.
No, I won't laugh again. It's okay. I've had enough.
Let's continue to other trends. So Barca is trending because they won against, and we'll get into more of that particular story in sports. They won against Madrid.
Yeah.
Ancelotti is trending because for the mere fact that he lost this game, people are calling for his head. And the same people will praise him when he wins a trophy. Yeah, so
sports there.
It's very, very
just
iffy.
like politics. Small loose, but you're in trouble.
No, sports, their heart is not crowd. They can love you today and tomorrow they don't like you. They can hate you today and tomorrow they love you. Yeah, so
disloyalty.
Oh, 90 minutes can do the trick in football. 90 minutes. You can change the perception of everyone. Yeah, that's how it is. And now, quickly, other things are trending. So, BB Mzamsi,
What's that?
Big Brother South Africa, and you know Mzamsi.
Really?
Yeah. So it was season 4 was launched yesterday. You know how I follow a lot of Big Brother
drama.
Yeah. I like
drama.
I like drama. So.
You know, sometimes I just want to be in the house for a few hours to understand this reality. I've never sat down to watch it before. Never. I just want to be in the house. Maybe I would like to try to be a part of one of it. Maybe the one in Nigeria, because I like Nigeria. I love Nigeria. Nigeria, yeah. So I would want to be in one to see, to have a feel of what it is. Like, because what's all this? People are sleeping and we are watching them.
So let me try and give a backstory.
No, not this morning.
Oh no, quick one.
Yeah.
So it's actually a social experiment.
Right. Oh.
To try and understand how different people from different backgrounds would tend to cope with each other in a confined space over a period of time.
Right.
Yeah, so in Nigeria, we've seen people come in with the last strategy and go on to win. We've seen people come in with the kitchen strategy. They only stayed in the kitchen, cooked the entire 91 days and won. We've seen people we've seen people come in with a feisty attitude, cause a lot of commotion and win. We've seen all shades of people. So even in Nigeria, the current winner, he came in with his wife.
Yeah,
and he lived the chilled life and then got to win. He was like, he showed what he actually could do, his talent, and his marriage was not compromised. So everybody's wishing him well. So we've seen a lot of people. So it's just a social experiment that keeps going on. So this is the 4th season in South Africa. It started yesterday, so not so much from that particular one, but you know, just people are trying to get into the frenzy of having favorites on the show and then liking people and things. So don't worry, there's more to come. One of these days, you need to bring me back to kind of do Nzamzi special, BB Nzamzi special.
I think we should do that.
Yeah,
I think we should.
Maybe I'll come and do it for you, pa.
Yeah, I know you actually really love me like that, and you do it.
Oh,
we should.
Oh.
Hey, get into the trends now. Hit on them. Which one and which one is trending?
So it's all football. Yamin Yamal, this guy has gotten me into trouble on this set a couple of times because of my producer. But he's also trending because yesterday he played a pivotal part in Barcelona beating Real Madrid. It's all football. Kai Havertz is trending because he's an Arsenal player. Yesterday he decided to balloon a lot of balls in front of goal. And this particular trend is really, really painful because basically Chelsea fans are trolling Arsenal for getting a washed Kai Havertz. So Chelsea it's not part of this equation. They did not play the game, but they are trolling one team over a player they sold to the team. That's no problem.
You mean they sold rubbish to the team or what? It's not going to be your words.
No,
and I take it back.
No.
Let's go.
So it's basically football that's trending all over. This particular gentleman, Bayinda, is the second goalkeeper for Manchester United. And a couple of games ago, he was in the goal post when Tottenham Hotspur scored a goal called Olympico. That means they played a corner straight from the corner and then goes into the pole. Nobody connects with it. So from corner to goal, that one is called Olympico. He collected one goal like that, and then all the entire fan base of Manchester United came for him that he should never enter the goalpost for Manchester United again. People wrote articles. Kwame Bafu. I saw your apology yesterday, no problem. People wrote articles, letters, that he should never be part of the team. The next game, their original goalkeeper, he's also trending. Where is his name? Onana. He too, he came into the goalpost and then he also took the same goal, this time from a lower team. And they also got angry. Now, yesterday, he was the saving grace for them. He got to, he saved 2 penalties in the game. And he was fantastic all throughout. And now everyone is singing his praises. You see what I told you?
Yeah.
Split
I think let's go through it because you have quite a number of the stories in your sports and news already. So let's just go through the trends.
All right, so this is a lot of action, a victory to remember. We never gave up until the end. We will keep fighting for this badge and achieving victories together, thanks to the passion of our fans. Please, when they bash you, come back and give us the same vibe.
But you want to be there.
When they bash them, they all disappear. So it's basically football that's trending all over because,
Mbappe is still on loan.
No, he's not on loan now. He plays fully for Real Madrid. He's a Real Madrid player and he goes there. And now, it's not doing Apeke.
Apeke?
Yeah, right now, the Manchester United fans, that's their song, Apeke. So we need to find a song for Mbappe as well. Yeah, Mpeke, Mfa.
Yeah, he's not playing well. What could be the
He's not gelling into the team. The problem with Mbappe is I think Ancelotti should stop trying as hard as he is to build everything around Mbappe. Mbappe needs to warm himself up into the team. The team does not need to stop whatever they were doing and then get to make Mbappe play well. No, that one won't work. Yeah. That one, that's the simple remedy. That one, it won't work.
Your trends have disappeared.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen,
since it's our sports, let's get into our stories this morning.
That's as far as the trends is concerned. A lot trending. We'll get into more much later. But anyways, now let's shift our attention and get into sports. Sports on the M Club is brought to you by Betway. Betway is bringing you way more chances to win each and every day. Like I keep saying, from now to the 31st of January 2025, stake a bet on Arsenal, whether to win, to lose, to draw, whatever. Just include Arsenal in your bet and stand the opportunity of being jetted off into the Emirates to have that special experience of playing on the pitch, the very pitch that Arsenal lost the game yesterday to Manchester United. Is available for you to go play on at the end of the season. So from now to the 31st of January, stake a bet on Arsenal and be part of this great exclusive initiative from betway.com.gh. Remember, the terms and conditions constantly apply, regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. With Betway, you guaranteed to always get way more. Now let's get into the stories and start off from the local front, where defending champions in Swatraman FC, they have crashed out of the 2024-25 MTN FA Cup after losing to Young Apostles in the round of 32. Then Swatre Bay's side lost 4-3 on penalties after a keenly contested goalless game. The result ends in Swatraman's FC's journey in the competition just 203 days after beating Bofakwatano to the title and representing Ghana on the continent. There was another huge upset yesterday at the Ni Eje Kraku, the second sports complex, where Division 1 league side, True Democracy, they beat Dreams FC by 1-0 to knock them out of the Eje Mate scored the winning goal in the 84th minute to secure the head passage into round 16 of the ongoing MTN FA Cup. In the round of 16, 8 division teams have divided. Later, and we'll bring you up to speed with regards to all the results in our subsequent bulletin. Now let's shift our attention and get into some foreign news, where Barcelona, they came to beat Real Madrid in an incident-packed Spanish Super Cup final in Saudi Arabia. Kylian Mbappe gave Real Madrid the lead with a fantastic solo goal, running from the halfway line before slotting past Wojciech Szczesny. Lamine Yamal leveled for Barcelona in the 22nd minute with an expert finish into the bottom corner from Robert Lewandowski's ball. Hansi Flick side then took command with 3 more goals for the break, but they had their goalkeeper Szczesny sent off for a foul on Mbappe out. Joshua Zexi scored the winning penalty as a 10-man Manchester United beat Arsenal in a thrilling encounter to reach the 4th round of the FA Cup. United had to play with 10 men for nearly an hour after Diego Dallo. He was shown the red card, or the second yellow card, having mistimed his tackle on the midfielder of Arsenal, Mikel Moreno. Manchester United. For Manchester United, however, Arsenal were in this particular jersey because they wanted to add their voice to the current spades and levels of stabbing in London. That's why they wore an all-white jersey. They are going anti-red for this game. Now let's turn our attention and get into Australia for some tennis action, as a streaking Coco Gauff was fast out of the gates to kick off her 2025 Australian Open campaign, easing through to the world of NBA. We have more Australian Open highlights for you as well. We were held down by Betway. Betway is bringing you way more chances to win each and every time. Just log on to betway.com.gh. Place a bet on Arsenal. Stand the opportunity of going to the Emirates and having that play on the pitch experience. www.betway.com.gh is the site for apply, regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. With Betway, you're guaranteed to get way more. And that's how we jet out of here. Mimi, we out for now.
Mr. Sedinam, thank you so much for coming through with those sports stories, and of course taking us through the trends. Thank you so much. It was a lot of sports.
Yeah.
So So yeah, it fell right on your laps. Well, catch up with all the fun, the breaking news stories, sports and business inside on mx24online.com. Also, make sure to stay right here with us. Now let's take a deep dive into the world of entertainment and showbiz with Daphne Flashley right after this.
Welcome to Entertainment News segments right here on the AM Club. My name is Daphne Flashley, and anytime you see me here, it's time to be about time to be updated on everything entertainment and more. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Today, when I saw you earlier, I said you looked successful.
I am successful. I am blessed. I'm beautiful. Dash.
Period. You're lovely.
I forgot my word.
You forgot your word, right?
No, you look lovely.
Thank you.
You look very British this morning.
This morning.
Yeah, with the pearls and the pearls on your shoes and the pearls everywhere.
Yeah.
With your bow.
As for the brooch, I'm going on brooch competition because when I saw you today, I said, you have to upgrade.
This brooch does no concern your dress. But no, this one does. This one has
really?
pearls on it. It does. It does.
Okay, so it matches
and the hair and by hair International Galaxy Milky Way.
You know that thing.
Let's get into the stories for this morning.
Definitely. Now, last year, I know you had a good time listening to music. I know you're a Jesus baby, but sometimes you also want to.
I do other music.
Exactly.
Yeah, I do.
But what would you say your top 10 most listened artists were?
Oh, from the top one would be Davido.
Okay.
Rema was there. Inyanya was there. Who else? Globally, and Nigeria.
It can be any.
Okay, there's Kim Promise. Hey, did you see where I started from? Badu. Badu. Kim Promise. This young boy. Ooh. This young one. Olive the Boy. Olive the Boy was in there. I know when. There's Kim Paluta. So Kim Paluta, Olive the Boy.
Yeah. If you didn't mention Kim Paluta, I'll be wondering.
Yeah, I'm a Palutarian.
Yeah, exactly.
There was Rema, and then there was this one that I just mentioned. Did I mention Kim Promise already?
Yeah, you mentioned Kim Promise.
Okay, so that's 5.
I think that's more than.
This more than okay.
So on and so forth. I mean, we can mention it. But Audiomack came out with their list of the top 10 most streamed Ghanaian artists.
Black Sherif.
You forgot Black
Shatawale. Stone Boy.
I thought you said you were Shatawale's wine.
And that's why you shouldn't put me on this spot. You need to get me prepared. And even Amrado. Right? Amrado was on my mind. I actually wanted to mention Amrado. Yes. Most listened. Yeah. Oh, thank God my list wasn't as bad.
It wasn't as bad.
I mentioned Kim Promise, Olive the Boy, Kim Paluta. Kim Paluta is not here.
Kim Paluta is not here?
Oh, so you see, Audiomack didn't do the work.
Paluta, what do you mean?
This is a flawed, what do you call it?
What do you mean?
It can never be possible that people listened on, unless they don't have Kim Paluta on
People
Audiomack.
listen to Kwesi Arthur.
Over Kim Paluta.
What did
Kwesi Arthur put there? is leadership here. We have the leadership of Kimbaluta in this house. I know.
No. She's up there. She's waiting
before she comes in because she's on there. So the Kwesiata once no one can hear. But in our studio.
No, but
it's
no
not possible.
way.
It's not possible. Audio Mark. This is a flawed list.
So number one, we have Black Sherif with the total streams of 694.6 million. Then Shatawale with 394.2 million. Sarkodie with 275.5 million. Stonebwoy 204 million. Kwesiata 160.6 million. Kim Promise 154.8 million. Kim Promise is even supposed to come before Kwesiata or this or because Kim Promise actually got the most streams Spotify. If you remember, we spoke about it
Spotify
here.
cries giving him.
So audio, okay. Daddy Lumba 136.1 million. Olive the Boy 114.4 million. J Bad, okay.
You didn't have to actually say it like that. J Bad.
I'm just saying. I'm emphasis on the J Bad. Like J Bad. Okay. Okay. And then lastly, Amirado with 106.5 million total streams. So there you have it. The top 10 most streamed Ghanaian artists.
So let's also be fair. Maybe on their platform, this is how people, were streaming. So
okay, that's true.
Yeah, we cannot flood them.
Exactly, we can. But next time, guys, do your research. Kimpaluta,
and make sure Kimpaluta is at the top because Kwesiata. Wow. Anywho,
do you want to have a good day?
And
this
have a production with her today. Maybe that I'm doing this thing today.
Do you want to have a good day this morning?
Trying.
All right, but what do you think about this list?
I personally think that, well, even though I think it's very flawed, maybe, just maybe, the way the algorithms works, people don't go on Audio Mark to listen to these people that we thought whose songs have done so well or did so well last year. I cannot fathom J Bad being listened to over Kimpaluta. I cannot fathom Kwesiata being number 5 over Kimpaluta. Like, even Shatawale is number 2. But we do know that the Shatawale squad is also a very big one. So, and even last year I complained a little bit about Black Sherif not being too visible. So just maybe. The way their stuff works, people went there to listen more to these people as opposed to the list we are thinking should have been there.
Right. Exactly. All right. Now we're moving on. Very, very sad news actually. So we have Ghanaian American businesswoman, Bozoma St. John. Yes, it's so sad that her house also got caught up in the LA fires, and it's really, really sad that her house got burnt down. So she posted something on social media. So let's quickly look at it, and then I can read it. I was just like, "This is the house I wanted, the house I prayed for, the house I worked in blood, sweat, and tears for. The house that I put a keypad instead of a keyhole in the front door because I wanted all my family and friends to have a code and use the house whenever they wanted. This is the house where I found peace after battling the racist neighbors and a community that made me have to buy it in a trust within a trust so no one would know that widowed single black woman with a teenager was buying on of exclusively held beach. This was my You I'm Here house. The house that I built a movie room dedicated to my sister so she could see her films in her own sanctuary. This is the house where I finally felt like I could choose to spend time when I wanted to and how I wanted to." That's really sad. The house is gone. The house is gone. And she's not the only, there are some top celebrities too that have lost their house. We have Paris Hilton. Paris Hilton also lost. Jene Eiko, she also lost her house. It's really, really sad that this is what was happening. It's also, this Los Angeles fire. Have you heard of it where they are bashing the mayor of Los Angeles that she was in Ghana when the fire was happening? You've heard about it, right? Yeah. It's everywhere.
So, you see, these things, and again, they're dry Santa. That's what they want to call it. And it's this is a very developed country that has systems in place.
Right.
Being raged with this much, disaster, immediately makes me wonder if this was in a very underdeveloped country or a developing country. You can imagine the damages this would have been. I pray that this, and I know that's based on the structures in the US, they have insurance on these things.
Can I say something?
Please go ahead.
But they've pulled out just a few weeks before the fire insurance companies pulled out from every home.
Yeah, because it's
so when you talk about insurance,
it's going to be big on them. It's going to be big on them to pay all of these homes that are being damaged. It's like, I mean, I can
but they are also paying to be paid. So why are you going to take it from them?
No, I totally understand what you're saying, but if someone gets and another doesn't, what then would it look like? She started a conversation with a very racist victim caption. And so you don't want to now come to a point where some white people are getting and some black people are not getting.
And she doesn't get, and then it's,
So for a company, this is risk management, so that they don't have to play, fair to other people and unfair to other people. I can totally understand the insurance companies, and also it's very heartbreaking. But hopefully they're able to come around.
But sis, how would they? Is it by coincidence that they had to remove themselves from?
No, it's not. I mean,
then later on.
So in this financial institution, they have the compliance and risk management teams who look at these things, like looking at the intensity of the reports that are coming out. We might not be able to hold our customers down in this season. Do you understand my point? And so they just started giving themselves shock absorber, because if they have to go all out and do what they have to do, by the time the fires are down, there will be no companies to go back to. So then
that means that next time we won't also be paying our fire insurance if you can't do this.
Sometimes this is how these things work. And that's,
now why are you today?
I'm just being very honest with you. Right. Unfortunately, it's how it works. If these companies don't do this, there'll be no company to go back, and there'll be no workers to be employed. And this is sad. And I know there would always there's always going to be a way out of this. Except that now the reports are showing that it's going to intensify because there's another wind coming.
Yeah. And what's good is that they are given notices of evacuation. Like, I think 2 days ago, Coral BD had to leave because they gave an evacuation notice that was on her Apple Watch that she had. So she had to leave. And
in other areas, I mean, listen, it's just totally sad. I think we saw some reports. So I was watching the BBC this morning, and they're talking about some areas. Once the fire comes, people start trying to curb the situation, and there's no water. To curb the situations before it escalates. So,
Yeah. I mean, one last thing before we move away from this story, and I'm sure you've heard it. The fact that Los Angeles is mad that the Los Angeles mayor was in Ghana on 7th, it's like, and you're like, how do you abandon us? The thing is, they're like, she abandoned. Meanwhile, forgetting that she left to Ghana she was in Ghana on the 7th.
Dear.
And the fire started on the 8th.
I think they're also missing the fact that the mayor didn't just have, and they say that, Ghana for Ebusa for Ghana.
Right.
There was a delegation that was put together by the president, Joe Biden, to come and represent the country. So the person has obviously the local responsibility or domestic responsibilities and international responsibilities as well.
But the commander-in-chief have spoken. So it's like,
I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know that this mayor was part of the delegation Joe Biden put together. But I believe that when the delegation was put up, some of these things are supposed to be considered. And so again, like I said, they have domestic responsibilities and they have international obligations they have to, adhere to. So unfortunately, some of these things, no, you cannot please everybody. But God should just help them and see them through. Because my family is in the US. For me, I've been crying since I've been praying. God, no, I beg you. God, please, I beg. But let's get into other stories as well.
We're getting into it. Moving on to our last story, and I'm sure you've heard of this handsome Benin American actor, and he's been in so many. You know him, right? He's been in so many movies.
The Killer.
Nominated for Oscars and all of that, but he actually spoke about it, was vocal about the fact that he still struggles financially.
Huh?
Yes, he's still very much broke.
People, when you see actors, they give them a hug. Why? Especially the male actors.
Now he can't even fathom how he's been nominated for Golden Globe, Oscars, and all of that, but he still is financially down. He's broke. There are certain things he can't afford, and sometimes having to see you and you're like, oh, you are in these big Marvel movies and all those things. So it's like, I'm sure like you're very much well to do, but he actually spoke about it in an interview. And so let's quickly look at the interview and we'll be right back.
Struggling trying to make
Racist or something. I'll have to work ×4 as people with the different color, but you pay them. Viola Davis spoke about it. All these celebrities spoke about it. She said she didn't understand what was going on until she got used to the industry. This is him speaking up, talking about the fact that he still struggles financially. Why?
It's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate.
Unfortunately, there are gatekeepers of these industries, and I don't want to hear anything about there are no gatekeepers. There are gatekeepers. Some of these people make and unmake brands, and if you're not in bed with them, I'm sorry. And I heard Monet talk about this. I saw a video of Monet speaking about it. Of how Kevin Hart doesn't look like a gatekeeper, but he is a gatekeeper in that industry, and he will make and unmake you if you're in the comedy space. Listen, I think that we should all strive to put in our best in whichever industries we find ourselves in, as opposed to what the traditional conversation would be that, listen, put in all your best, put in your, it will work. No. 2025, we're not doing that. We're going to put our eggs in 10 different baskets. If one doesn't pay, the other will pay. As an actor, as a creative, it's imperative to have a side hustle. A side hustle that will pay the bills and fit your lifestyle that the society is looking at you to live. Some of them, they've said, the society will not pressure me. I'm not going to do it, no concern me. Abby, they will stay in a very moderate apartment and do all these things. Others too, based on where they find themselves, they have to live a certain lifestyle. And listen,
to keep up with that lifestyle,
you need to have side hustles.
Exactly.
So unfortunately that, creatives have to come out. We've seen this in Ghana, we've seen it in Nigeria, we've seen it elsewhere. It's sad, but unfortunately, that's what we have to do.
That's what
multiple jobs.
Exactly.
Yeah, wait now. By the end of the month, now, wow, you're able to take care of you and your family.
Number one, this woman sitting.
Hey, madam. Nobody has said it.
Oh, yes.
Because
No, no.
my producer asked me, do you sleep? I said, at this my young age, I should be sleeping. When will I wake?
Someone said, my mother's room, when I had to gather money for this one, a mortgage, I was in my mother's room just resting. Charlie, you have to start saving when you're in your mom's womb. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we have for you today on the entertainment news segments right here on the AM Club Coffee Daily, proudly brought to you by Cowboy Coffee. My name is Daphne Flashley. Over to you. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you so much, Daphne. It's always exciting to have you.
Thank you.
And I mean every bit of it. Thank you so much. It's Monday. Lady Diana. That's your name today. You're looking very British.
Thank you.
Well, now to you out there, did you know that all the 41 LPG companies and the 800 stations across the country are 100% built and operated by indigenous Ghanaians? When you refill your cylinder with us, you support the growth of indigenous businesses and create more jobs. But that's not the only reason for you to choose us. Our LPG distribution system offers unbeatable value, allowing you to buy any amount of the product in whichever quantities you need, making it incredibly pocket-friendly. Worried about being cheated? With us, you can watch Feely as your cylinder gets filled. Plus, we have weigh scales at every station, so you can double-check the weight of the quantity filled. That is trust guaranteed. Switch to LPG for your car, especially if you drive a taxi. It is more environmentally friendly, helping protect our precious ecosystem. Go green with LPG and make a difference. Remember, when the last tree dies, the last man dies. Refill your LPG cylinder at your nearest gas station and help save our forest and environment. Let's protect Ghana for this generation and the next. LPG Marketing Company Association of Ghana, your affordable, pocket-friendly, trustworthy and eco-friendly choice. Now, in today's dynamic business environment, a robust workforce is pivotal to achieving success. That is why we have thoughtfully designed our corporate health insurance plans to empower your employees and bolster your organization's performance. With Equity Health Insurance, your investment transcends ordinary insurance. It represents a commitment to the future of your company. Our health plans are individually tailored to accommodate the unique needs of your employees, offering comprehensive coverage and exceptional benefits. Our support goes beyond administrative tasks and premiums. At Equity Health Insurance, we are dedicated to standing by your side throughout the entire journey. Please feel free to reach out to us on 050-1515124 or 0539-135-3 so that we can further enhance the level of service we provide to you. Equity Health Insurance, we say always here for you. The Telecel More Money promo excitement is at its peak. Over 50 winners have already walked away with 30,000 Ghana cedis each in the weekly draws. And we are getting closer to rewarding one customer with a grand prize that is 1 million Ghana cedis in the Telecel More Money promo. That lucky customer could be you. So keep purchasing data, airtime, or reload your fixed broadband so we can get you, as you get closer, or to get you closer to becoming a millionaire. The more you reload, the better your chances of winning. Don't miss out. Down *500#, that is *500#. Send WIN to 500 or visit the Telecel app to opt in for free. Join the Telecel More Money promo now and change your life forever. Okay, 1 million Ghana cedis in this current Ghana is some good money, okay? Terms and conditions definitely do apply. The promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform. Telecel, connecting energies. And that's about it for Coffee Daily, brought to you by Cowboy Coffee. Up next is our news review right here on the show. Make sure to charge yourself up for the day with Cowboy Coffee. We'll be right back after this. Good morning, welcome back to the AM Club right here on MX24. My name is Miriam Uduak-Mensah. If you're just joining in, you came in at a very, very important time. And I'm telling you, I'm saying this carefully because at this point, conversations that we're going to have on this show is going to bother on you as a Ghanaian directly. And so I do not want you to move. If you want to move around, please jump onto our social media handles. X, we're live on X, we're live on Facebook, and so please jump on there. Let's do the show together with you. But before we get into our conversation, which is, of course, the news review segment of the show, I would like to have this conversation with you. So at Equity Health Insurance, the well-being of our members takes precedence. We recognize the unique healthcare needs of individuals and families, which is why we are delighted to present our Ebusha Health Plan. This health plan is crafted to promote the enduring health and happiness of you and your loved ones. Our plans are meticulously tailored to offer comprehensive and competitive health insurance coverage for individuals, families, and smaller groups. Access to quality care is just a phone call away, offering continual assurance of your family's welfare. Contact us today on 0546 645 465 or 05038603881. Equity Health Insurance. We say always here for you. Are you passionate about interior design but don't know where to start? Well, or maybe you're an aspiring designer looking to elevate your skills. Look no further. Introducing Design Lab by Salom Dream Maker, powered by Acento Projects Limited. Our comprehensive training and coaching courses are designed to solve the biggest challenges faced budding interior designers and construction teams. From mastering the latest design trends to understanding clients' needs and project management, we've got you covered. Whether you are a complete beginner or looking to refine your skills, our courses offer something for everyone. Learn from industry experts, gain hands-on experience, and join a community of like-minded creatives. Register to reserve a slot for this month, the January session, and transform your passion into a thriving career. Our students have gone on to create stunning spaces and successful businesses. Ready to take the next step? Contact us today on 020-888-2722. That's 020-888-2722. Or visit our office at East Legon at Jirengano. Design Lab, your where design dreams come to life. Shopping got easier, yes, better and smarter. A to Z Department Store, your trusted go-to shopping destination in Ghana, is now live online. Yes, we are live online. Experience the same trusted in-store excellence from the comfort of your home. From fashion to lifestyle essentials, we've redefined shopping to suit your lifestyle. Simply visit www.onlinestore.azgroup.com. That's www.onlinestore.azgroupgh.com. Browse, click, and enjoy seamless shopping anytime, anywhere. A to Z Department Store, shopping redefined. Well, now let's get into our Lifestyle Daily segment, and today it's definitely a news review, and we're going to be having a conversation about all the things you want to talk about in politics, in governance, 120-day social contracts that are newly they said I can't say elected president, but he's newly elected president, has with the Ghanaian people. Well, joining me for the conversation this morning is Benjamin Kwame Amankwah, NDC Communications Team member. We have missed him since his party won the elections. We haven't seen him, so welcome, Benjamin. Also to my very good friend, Jesse. He is the NPP. He's also an NPP Communications Team member. We are excited to have you, Jesse. Yeah, you're probably one of the very few ones who's been bold enough to come out to have conversations. Because nowadays people are busy working on putting together your party.
You're regrouping the party.
Yes, you're regrouping. Yeah. You said you're reclaiming your party from the hands of some people who have captured the party. You're going to tell me how that has been, if you are allowed to speak on that. Well, let's get into it. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Oh, we are fine. Very fine.
Wonderful.
I am fine.
You are fine?
Yes.
Jesse's also very fine.
Yeah, I'm I hope so.
Yeah.
I sincerely hope so.
Even though we're in opposition, but
you are very fine.
Yeah.
Your minority leader is in parliament making it happen for you.
Exactly, and I like the way he's active as a minority leader. You know, he's speaking up to issues, and I believe for the next 4 years, Parliament will be very interesting.
Why?
And I hope that God gives him the ability to lead the NPP caucus in Parliament, because we are ready to take up the country in 2028.
Okay.
So we are regrouping.
You are talking about a micro-minority leader.
That's not the idea.
Minority.
It's not micro-minority.
Don't worry. I mean, it's fine. It's fine.
It's not micro-minority.
Micro-minority.
It's minority.
Or minority.
Okay.
When did you create a new section for micro-minority?
But how can you have micro-minority? I mean, the minority
Don't
tells
mind
you...
them. They're just feeling...
It means the minority is so minor that there is an adjective that needs to be
I think that genuinely for everyone, I think... the minority leader made the case for every minority member. Yeah. So now let's laugh about it and move on, because they're not going to leave us alone. But let's get into a few conversations that have become important to have. Let's start from the inauguration. It was very colorful, but also we saw some few complaints from individuals. Let's start from the security aspect, where you know, a head of state from a different country, you know, came on to greet the president with a gun. And it's been loads of things that have been said about it. We have had statements that said that, listen, the security apparatus of this country knew about it, so measures were put in place for the president and anybody on the ground to feel safe. But what are your takes on that?
Miriam, let me first of all say good morning to your cherished viewers, and also use the opportunity to wish them a happy new year and thank all Ghanaians for actually putting their sentiments against the erstwhile Nanado administration into action by actually voting the NPP out. Ghanaians have actually voted for the reset that they actually wanted. And so I want to use the opportunity to thank Ghanaians for that. Having said that, you know, my favorite quote is by the American scholar, Thomas Paine. He said, time makes more converts than reason. And so you realize that time has indeed made people now come to their reason. And is that when you lead a group of people and they raise issues, you need to listen to them. Having said that, let me come to your question on the inauguration. You realize that just after Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia accepted that the result from their own coalition, he has realized that the now President Mahama was ahead, then candidate Mahama was ahead. You realize that Mahama took a lot of trips around the African, especially the West African countries. Now, a leader who really wants to bring unity and continue the discourse on the unification of the African continent, that action was very important. It is not only the invitation to come for his inauguration program. That is also an action that demonstrates a commitment to uniting and solving some of the main issues that we have. Of course, the issue of Burkina Faso came in, but I'll come to that later. Let me look at the organization program. From the dress that the president wear, with the symbols that were engraved on the dress, you realize that sometimes when you want something so much and there is a sort of blockage in your way, it's not really a failure. It's God telling you that take your time and come again. I sincerely, from the Mahama experience, realized that the mere fact that Mahama couldn't gain his second term immediately and was asked by Ghanaians to get back because they think that he was not leading the way they thought, has given him rather a chance to do a deep introspection. And so his demeanor, his appearance on the inauguration, his very dressing shows that of unification. The unification that is very important for Ghana to move forward. Why am I saying that? If we see how the program was organized, planned. And this one, I want to use the opportunity to thank my honor Dr. Omanibo Ama and Mr. Sandogbe. In fact, Sandogbe has when it comes to the organizational program. And I think that it should not only be an MPP asset, but it should become a Ghanaian asset, so that every presidential inauguration that we have, we should have the likes of Sandogbe and Dr. Omanibo Ama on board. Now, you realize the program, there was no problem. Every protocol was observed and people's security was there. But
the events dragged.
Yeah, the event, of course, may drag because it's a presidential inauguration. And looking at
not the case.
Well, you look at the number of dignitaries. We have 21 heads of West African states coming. This is unprecedented. It has never happened before. The number have never been so huge. So you understand, and all these people need to greet President Mahama timeously, and you think that that will take, of course, a lot of time. Coming to the issue of the Burkina Faso leader, you see, we have to understand the context of the Burkina Faso issue. The gentleman is a military leader. You understand? And the issue and the situation in Burkina Faso is still fluid. This is someone who has been threatened by some of the other African leaders. In fact, the mere fact that he agrees to move out of Burkina Faso and meet the same leaders who threatened to take action against him after he took over in Burkina Faso shows that there is a lot of commitment that he has made. And of course, we have forgotten that the security issues we raised, there might have been discussions already between the leader, former President Mahama, and the security of President Mahama and that of the leader. And so for me, I don't think
there was anything to worry about.
It was anything to worry about, especially if you understand the situation in which he found himself. Then we could allow that sort of laxity for him to fly. I've listened to security experts who think otherwise, but that is their opinion. But I think that in the situation in which the gentleman finds himself, he has not done anything so absurd. And of course, President Mahama himself was there. If he thinks that it was any issue and the security people around him think it's an issue, they'll have dealt with it. So I don't think that that issue is too much, even though we may comment on it here and there.
I would like to take briefly your thought on it. Just briefly comment on it if you thought it was something that we could have just totally avoided.
I would like to say good morning and Happy New Year to you.
Thank you so much, Jesse.
The exceptional team behind AM Club Morning Show, the entire management of MX24. I would like to say a Happy New Year. I believe that this year will be good to us.
Amen.
Yeah, this year will be good to us. And good morning to Lawyer Richmond Amofasapon. He's my personal person. God richly bless you, guy. Talking about the inauguration, you know, I've always said this after the inauguration that this is one of the most best inauguration we've had.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, well, yes. I mean, I've always stood for the truth. You know me. I've been here. You know that I speak the truth. Yes, let's put the politics aside and let's speak truth. You know, I think this is the best inauguration Ghana have experienced so far.
Wonderful.
But notwithstanding, since 1993, we've had inaugurations till now. And anytime we have an inauguration, there is some sort of improvement, right? So this is not the first time we are seeing some sort of a heavenly improvement. Anytime we have a presidential inauguration, there is an improvement.
Okay.
And so this is not the first time. Okay. And I disagree with people who are saying that this is, I mean, the first time there is an improvement in our inauguration. No. Since 1993, there has been an improvement in our inauguration, presidential inauguration. Fast forward on the security issue. You know, when you study international relations in politics and geopolitics, before you invite a visiting president, there is some sort of a security agreement between the visiting president and the existing president, right? And so I don't believe any visiting president can just get up from his seat and visit any country with all his security apparatus. Like my brother rightly said, Mahama visited some of these countries, and I believe that there was some agreement guy, and then President John Mahama. And even before he arrived in Ghana, the state protocol was aware of what was going to happen. And so I believe that ICE was on the Burkina Faso guy, even though it was a risk for John Dramani Mahama, because at that moment, anything could have happened. It is a risk. But I believe there was some agreement between him and President Mahama. I mean, he knows that Ghana is a democratic country, and he is coming from, a military taking over country. So he knows the situation in here. And so I believe that there is, even though it was a risk for President Mahama and Ghanaians, I mean, it was cool for us. It was cool for us. Yeah.
A statement was released this morning. It wasn't part of what we're going to discuss, but it has become important for us to ask to speak on that briefly. So this morning, from the Presidency Communications, that's the letterhead that was sent. So I'm believing that it's coming from the office of our new president, dated Monday, January 13th, 2025. Notice of cessation of board membership of statutory boards, corporation missions, council following presidential transition. Was this to be expected? But let me get into the story, into the letter properly, so that we can get the context in which this conversation is going to come from. In accordance with the Presidential Transition Act 2012, Act 845, all members of the statutory board, corporations, commissions, and council appointed by the former president of a former minister of state ceased to hold office on the 7th of January 2025, following the assumption of office of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama. This serves as formal notice to all affected members. For the avoidance of doubt, this excludes commissions that are independent constitutional creations. In due course, the affected boards, commission, council, and statutory corporations will be reconstituted according to their respective enabling laws. The president takes this opportunity to thank all affected members of their service and wishes them well in their future endeavors. The management of these bodies are directed until further notice to seek clearance from the Chief of Staff before taking any major decision. This was released this morning, signed by Felix Kwachi Ofosu, spokesperson to the president. Speak to it for me.
Yeah.
Because we're seeing a lot of this. Last week it was the MMDCs.
Yeah.
This week, is it a structure that needs to be followed, or could we retain some of these people and just move on with business without all of these cancellations?
Miriam, as the statement clearly indicates, when we transition from one democratic president or government to another, automatically there are some offices and some commissions and council that automatically comes to an end. For example, people in the office of the president, automatically those councils, and it is clearly stipulated. So it automatically kicks in. This is not new. This is just a formal information. Already, most of those people are not going to work anyway, because the Act clearly indicates it, and that this is just to serve as a reminder to them that you are no longer in office. You are supposed to hand over to the immediate directors and people who should be in charge until a substantive head of those institutions are. So it's to be expected, and I think that there is no brouhaha about this at all.
Jesse, I want us to get quickly into the president reducing the ministries as we have it now. So now we have 23 in civil service restructuring, sorry. Now we have only 23 ministries. We're going to get into that. But reducing it drastically like this, ladies and gentlemen, how could that possibly impact? I want us to get into the ministries that we have right now. We have Ministry of Finance, very important ministry that cannot be scrapped out, obviously. We have the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Interior, Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Education, and Ministry of Energy and Green Transition, Ministry of Roads and Highways, Ministry of Transport, and Ministry of Sports and Recreation, which is a newly designed one, Office of the Attorney General, and Ministry of Justice, Ministry of Land and Natural Resources, Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Leaders. That's also a merged ministry. Ministry of Foreign Affairs stays the same. Ministry of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation, that is Ministry of Communication merged with Ministry of Information. I'm going to let us hold on to that one a little bit. Let's have a conversation around the Ministry of Information being totally dissolved or merged with Ministry of Communication. How does that impact both ministries? Their businesses were individual to themselves. Now, this business are going to be done together. What is it going to look like? Who's going to take that for me? You take it up for me, Jesse?
Yeah, all right, I'll take it up for you. So I think President John Dramani Mahama is not just any president. I mean, he has been a former vice president before. He has been a former president before, and he's now a president. And so it is only natural and ethically right for people to expect him to hit the ground running. And firstly, I would like to start with the finance ministry, right? Firstly, you see, in the sustainability of our country, the finance ministry plays an important role in the development of this nation. And so whoever that is lucky to lead the finance ministry must be ready to think logically and be strategically oriented, I mean, to bring the economy back on its feet. I'm saying this because just recently, I mean, the finance minister-elect, that's Kesel Atuforsen, says Ghana is going to need more IMF deal. And I find this to be interesting and heartbreaking because just 4 days in government and you are thinking of extending our IMF deal.
Is that not because we probably do not have money to sustain the system that they inherited?
I'll get to that. Look, you see, it's so surprising because it tells you that the NDC is 8 years in opposition and all the policies they promised the good people of right was promised on loans. Because mind you, an interesting story about John Dramani Mahama is that under his administration, Ghana has secured 2 different IMF deals in 2012 and in 2015 under the extended credit facility. Under the same person, Ghana has secured 2 different IMF deals. Now, the extended credit facility here is that, you see, when you go to IMF, there are a lot of loan options. And the extended credit facility is usually given to low-income countries like Ghana. And it has a lot of grace period. Sometimes you can even pay it after 10 years. And Atuforsen was part of this IMF team to secure 2 different deals for Ghana. And now he's here thinking of extending the IMF deal on Ghanaians to increase the hardship. I mean, you know, the negative implication of securing an IMF deal, to increase the hardship on Ghanaians, the burdens on already suffering Ghanaians. And so today I sit here on this platform because I believe that they are having their ministerial vetting today. I sit on this platform to tell the good people of this country that Atuforsen, finance minister-elect, has nothing good to offer the good people of this country. In fact, since 2013, I've realized that Atuforsen is economically deficient. He knows nothing because is it not surprising that just 4 days in government, you are thinking of securing an IMF deal? Is it not surprising to you?
What would you rather he does?
Upon all his qualifications that were displayed on social media, were you expecting him to come back on social media and tell the good people of this country that we need an IMF deal? When you look at his qualification as a finance minister-elect, were you expecting him to come and secure an IMF deal? Looking at what they promised the good people of this country in opposition, in your heart of heart, were you expecting him to say what he said just recently?
Maybe not as soon as he did, but I mean, we've also had governments that have said that, listen, we're never going to go to IMF. However,
yes, but
we went to
I
IMF.
agree with you, but even under that person, Ghana has secured only 1 IMF deal. But under John Dramani Mahama, we have secured 2 different IMF deals. That was under the same person.
And so the economies were different.
It's not about the economy is different. It's the economic experience. And so it tells you the difference between John Dramani Mahama and Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo. But you know something? I was expecting Atuforsen to follow the footsteps of Honorable Ken Ofori-Atta. You know what he did in 2016? Do you know what Ken Ofori-Atta did in 2016?
Let me know.
He exited Ghana from the IMF deal the moment he assumed office as a finance minister. And so rightly,
and went as I said, into it.
And rightly, as I said, I was expecting him to exit Ghana from the... You see, it's too early. It's too early and it's too premature for Ghana to secure an IMF deal in this circumstance? Do you know that Ghana is still under the IMF deal?
We are.
Exactly.
I think some monies were released right before the elections.
And so,
but I would like to say this though, that even though we are saying that, I personally want to agree with you on the it being too early conversation, but we have a government also that has timelines they're working with. They've given 120-day ultimatum to certain projects. They have things they want to do. However, looking, and I'm not speaking for them as someone who knows exactly what is going on, but I'm assuming that, listen, they have inherited a government that we as Ghanaian people have complained that is the reason why we've been seeing them out of power. The country is already struggling.
So going to so securing another IMF though is the resetting agenda they were talking about.
So that is a worry to me, it's a concern to me as well.
Exactly.
But
so I'm asking you,
way are they securing money
because
for
John Dramani Mahama said we are going to reset Ghana.
Absolutely.
And so securing an IMF deal, going for a loan to increase the burdens on Ghanaians is the resetting agenda we are talking about here. Is that the resetting agenda? No, absolutely no. That is not the resetting agenda. And so Mahama should come clear whether the resetting agenda is just the normal agenda that we know of Ghana going to borrow loans from other countries to build our economy. We should know. Because in the minds of Ghanaians, we picture the resetting agenda to be some sort of, I mean,
like a complete relief from all this.
Exactly, not going back to our loan masters. And so come clear whether this is the resetting agenda or not.
I think they have questions to answer.
Exactly.
And during their vetting, I think these questions will be through.
Well, that's fine, and I hope they ask those essential questions. And back to the number of ministries Mahama has reduced. Well, the fact that you have reduced the number of ministries doesn't mean you are going to run an efficient government. It's just the fact that you are going to run a lean or a slim government. And I believe John Mahama is just responding to the public sentiment and not to the cost of activities in those various ministries. Because you see, Ghanaians have this perception that we have a lot of ministries and they are not working. And so I believe that what John Mahama did recently is a response to public sentiment, but not in the sense of reducing the cost involved in those ministries. Because if you make your mathematics, if you make your mathematics very well, the cost in governance does not come from these ministries. If you make your analysis very well, cost in governance these ministries. And so it's fine. He has reduced the number. I mean, it's good. But it still does not affect the cost.
We'll see about that.
Exactly.
It's just a bit too early to have that conversation. But I'm going to come back to, I saw you sat down very quietly listening to Jesse's brilliant submission on do you want to touch on the IMF
I think
thing?
Describing that submission as brilliant is subjective.
Is it?
I was going to say that I was going to really praise him that for the first time I have met a panelist who is from the other side and was trying to be objective. Unfortunately, I have not even reached half of the program, and
you already did
the question posed to him or to us was the downside of the minister and whether what effect. It's as if he in a Kesalatu force and fighting over a woman. I don't know. He has personalized it and went to it. But let me deal with the realities. You know, former President Mahama says something.
He's no longer former president.
Forgive me.
You have called him former president the entire...
President Mahama says something. He said from the day that he has been sworn in as president, he was going to tell, or he's going to tell Ghanaians the truth, always on every platform that he found. If you realize my demeanor this morning, you realize that I've moved from being antagonistic to being a very calm and thoughtful person.
No, but you are in power, so you can't behave as if you are in position. Obviously.
For that reason, he has, through the administrative process, ordered us as to how our communication, even in the public domain, should go. You understand? But let me come to the bigger issue. The real question is, how will the downsizing affect the government? We had 30 ministries, and the ministries to 23. And you are telling me that there will be no cost benefit to Ghanaians and to Ghana for that matter for just the mere downsizing. Oh, come on. The resources that were otherwise expended on these ministries, the duplication of functions, we have Ministry of Information and these resources will be centralized at one place, and individuals in charge will be really responsible and accountable. You don't need buildings to work. Where we have this ministry, people are staying there, some idling around. We have another ministry idling around. Minister of Parliamentary Affairs on all those things. And you are telling me that the downsizing will not help. Of course, the mere downsizing should go with the action of reducing the budget allocation. I agree perfectly with that.
Yes.
But if you tell me that downsizing the ministries from 30 to 23 is not going to benefit Ghana, then you are not being realistic. And that is where my problem with it comes in. Okay. Let me come to the issue of Kesarato Folsom saying that we are going to the IMF. Perhaps you don't know, but I know you have read it. A day before NPP hand over power to Ghana, contractors that they were owing, that they have not paid, they released 20 billion Ghana cedis to pay all the contractors.
The NPP
released that money a day before they left office. And during the transition meetings, they had agreed in principle that because you are moving out, payments that go beyond a certain amount should be brought to the transition so that we discuss, because it will have ramifications for the incoming government. They totally disregarded it. In actual fact, now Honorable Felix Ofosu-Kwakye released a statement that this was a decision they were taking. The former Minister of Information, Fatimatu Abubakar, actually said there was nothing like that. Whilst you were at a meeting, and you agreed on that. That is one. You know about the energy debt that they left. The MPP administration basically was money on daily basis to buy fuel to run the plants that were generating electricity. What they actually did was to set a trap for the incoming NDC government, so that a day after the power was handed over to President Mahama, we were going to have done so.
So
can I come in?
You can't come in. I kept quiet because I wanted to flow. So let me.
So when I done, I'll come in.
No problem.
Before you land, and I'm sorry that I'm cutting
no
you,
problem.
But let's talk about before this very few months to elections. They were campaigning to win. So with all these actions that is being purported that they took against the Ghanaian people, because I want to say that this power crisis is a Ghanaian problem. At what point did they start making all those borrowings?
So what I'm saying is that, you see, I am not against the way they run their government. So what? In fact, that is, I'm coming.
So what are you against?
I'm coming. That is the reason why Ghanaians voted against them. But I'm saying that during the transition, they agreed that when payments to people exceed a certain amount, because it will have ramification for the incoming government, bring it to the table and let's agree on it and see the way forward. The ones that we can do, we think can do, we will allow it. That is where I'm coming from. I'm not saying that the way they run government was bad or good. In fact, in actual fact, the citizens have made that decision. No need for me to do that. But
I wanted to know when they accrued this debt that is at the energy sector, and it looking like a trap to the NDC.
Yes, of course, it's a trap. I'm saying that. In fact, there was no money, and what they were doing, they have no plan. God forbid, Dr. Bawumia had won the elections. What would have happened? What would have happened was that there was going to be total doom. So because what they were doing, it was because of the elections. If the lights go out, it was going to be a major political fallout for the NPP. So they needed to keep the light on. So what they were doing was to keep borrowing money to buy fuel. And so a day after they left, can you imagine that a day after you left, we were going to energy? Did you not listen to the energy minister?
Please, I would like
please give me the right. I kept quiet. I kept quiet.
But he's done.
Oh no, who say I'm done? I've not even finished dealing with your issue here. I'm now coming to the ministers and their profile.
Let's talk about that ministry.
You from which I'm coming from. So I'm saying that all the issues he has raised and the reason why Honorable Kesarato Fosun said that it is likely that we might be going or we might be extending the IMF program, is that the fact is that you need money to run a country. If the money is not there, it is not there. The NPP administration has basically run Ghana dry. In fact, they said that we had eaten the meat from the bone. They have actually swallowed the bone. There is even nothing for you to see. That is the group of people we are talking about. A group of people who, through partisan politics, do not know that even if we have to leave office, we need to understand the fact that there are vulnerable people in this country. There are people who go to Medina market, and based on the electricity that they use to repair shoes for people around, that is what they used to eat. So the lights cannot go off. They do not care because they want to punish NDC and portray NDC to Ghanaians as a government that is incompetent. But inshallah, God in heaven, as my people say, it's not Alataman.
Okay.
God is not Alataman. Now let me come to the
ministries that have been reduced.
Yeah, the ministries that have been reduced.
The ones that have been merged.
Yes.
Please speak to
Look at the ministries that have been merged. Ministry of Information.
Please bring us back. Bring that back on the screens for me. Thank you.
Miriam.
Yes.
You are a media person.
Yeah.
Ministry of Information and Communication. What is the difference between communication and information?
We need to find out from the
That
NPP
the ministries that were created under the NPP, like a Ministry of Information and Communication, was a means by which the NPP tried to find job for unqualified party apparatchiks, all to the detriment of the Ghanaian coffers. Let me tell you, you know that the directors and the people who occupy these offices, they actually take salaries. Oh, you don't know? Somebody go to Ministry of Information and he's working, you think he will not be paid, then he will be working. Somebody is at the Ministry of Communication and he's working, he will not be paid. If we have Ministry of Information, we have Ministry of Communication, which are in two different buildings. We'll have security there, we'll have the same thing there. By merging them, we have reduced it. So basic economics, in fact, I didn't do economics, mathematics wasn't my bad. Mine is English language and communication. But basic economics, 1 + 1 is 2. So if we have 2 and we take 1 out of it, it will be left with 1. That should tell us that by merging the Ministry of Information and Communication, resources that would otherwise have been expended on people who are unqualified and just to reward party activists will be put into good use to the development and the benefit of every citizen of Ghana.
One ministry that I think bothers on a lot of people, a good number of Ghanaian people, is the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts.
Yeah.
That has also been in the stories for, I think this entire weekend it's been in it. Who is going to occupy this space? And I saw a brilliant, very, very, what other word do I use to qualify what he did? Very brilliant submission from Jesse Amwe Japan. He is a creative. He's worked with a lot of creative, worked in different institutions with creatives. And so he was talking about that person leading the institution not being the topic for conversation, but rather what is the person going to be doing? What is the job of a minister for tourism, culture and creative art? We've had people there who had no clue what to do with the ministry, and even the resources that were coming in, even with our very successful year of return, we're still having conversations on where the monies went to. How did that affect directly the life of the creative? And so I want us to go into that space a little bit, because also the NDC, whilst you were doing your campaign and meeting up with people, one of the people that you were big on meeting with, and I think you had a couple of meetings with them, was the creative arts sector. And they, you know, said to you their frustrations, what could help. And even in your manifesto, you had allocated, you had identified one of the problems, a few problems of the creative arts, financing being one, infrastructure to accommodate these creative was also one of them, and a few other things you had mentioned. How are we going to make sure that this ministry at least comes to the top in terms of success?
Miriam, I have always held the view that one of the challenges why we are not moving at the pace at which we need to move in Ghana is that we have neglected the creative art industries. use their talent, creativity, and ingenuity to earn their own revenue. They don't really necessarily depend on government. Sure. And so if we provide that space and develop it, we will have a lot of people moving there, taking the burden of looking for a job or official government job out of government. You understand? But I think we have all failed in this regard. I want to agree with the person you said that who said we shouldn't necessarily focus on the person, but what is bringing. I agree 100% with you. And I think that, one, the person who will lead the creative industry should not be necessarily someone who is a creative person or maybe is in the industry.
It's entertainment. We don't want an entertainment person.
Yes. I think some time ago, I had the same challenge where the Minister of Education was actually taken during the previous administration out of the circle of that teachers and things. I had that issue. But upon reflection, I realized that if someone can do the job, he may not necessarily be in the industry, but he or she may have ideas that can inure to the benefit of the industry. Okay. I think more of competence, experience, that will help in the development. If what I would suggest is that people who apply to be minister or to be appointed as leaders of the ministry, I think it should be a practicalize something that put a proposal together as to how you are going to transform.
I agree with you. Tell us how you're going to do it before we even put you.
Exactly.
So the vetting committee has to look at that. What are your proposals? I know that in the past it also includes questions like, so what are you going to do?
Exactly.
But this should be a comprehensive presentation.
In actual fact, it shouldn't just be a question. The whole interview process should focus on that. And I think that it shouldn't only even be the creative art industry. Now we should change from rhetoric, because I have seen a gap between people who hold PhD in an area and their performance on the field when you give them the job. It's not to say that I don't respect academic qualification, because myself, I'm actually chasing my PhD. I'm very interested in academic qualifications. That is not to undermine academic qualification. But you see, learning a book and providing a theory that supports a principle and actually coming to the ground and implement that principle to the benefit of society, that are two different things.
Two different things, absolutely. Absolutely.
You understand?
And we've seen that quite a lot in this country.
Very good. So I think that
CVs,
I think that like we do in marketing, where you go for an interview, they sell. You said you are a marketer. You can sell this product. Sell it in 2 minutes and let's see.
Yes.
And that would determine whether you are taking on the interview or not. And I think that is what they should
do with the vetting. And I totally agree with this recommendation. We want to talk about the ministries that have been dissolved. Then we quickly wrap up this conversation. We would continue on some of the developments because this government has given us a lot of work to do. So we're going to be staying on. I keep saying we're going to stay behind their back. The ministries that have been dissolved: Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources, that has been dissolved. Ministry of Public Enterprises, that has been dissolved. I want to know what that ministry was really doing.
So, Miriam, take a ministry like Ministry of Public Enterprises. What were they basically doing? The people were just sitting there collecting money. But Jason would defend it because
I would like to clarify some things here.
Yes, but you have like 2 minutes to do that.
No, Mabimbi, you gave him about 30 minutes. Mimi, you gave him 30 minutes.
I'm not. It's not me giving.
It's fair. You gave him 30 minutes.
I'm not the one giving.
Okay, well, that's 2 minutes. I'll take it.
But you were speaking your heart out, and I was just there looking at you.
To wrap up. So, Ministry of Information have also been resolved.
Please mention Ministry of Public Enterprises again for me.
Ministry of Local Government Decentralization and Rural Development. Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs, that has also been dissolved. So 7 ministries have been dissolved. You want to speak to what exactly? But you have just 1 minute.
When my brother was making his submission, he said the energy sector is now experiencing debts. Look, it is only a lie that someone will tell you that the energy ministry is now experiencing debt. Look, since time immemorial, since Kwame Nkrumah's memorial till now, the energy ministry has been experiencing debt. And so my brother is sitting here and releasing lies into the eyes of Ghanaians. It is a total lie. The energy ministry has always been experiencing debt. And the NPP government was, even in crisis situation, even in the debt situation, the NPP was able to keep our light on for us for the 8 years. And so I don't get the point in my brother's submission. Fast forward in the creative art industry, he was saying that we don't necessarily need somebody to come from the creative art industry. What is he talking about? So then who should we pick? We need somebody from the creative art industry who knows the challenges in the industry. And so if you sit here and tell the good people of this country watching us that we don't need someone from the creative art industry, then my brother, you are lying. We need someone from the creative art industry. We need someone from the creative art industry with an in-depth knowledge to help the industry. And then he sits here to tell us that the vetting committee should allow people to bring their proposal. This is not something he must say.
Really?
It is the culture. No, listen, this is not something he must say. This is the culture of a vetting committee to ask you, what is your proposal? That is the culture of vetting. You go to vetting, we ask you questions, we ask you your plans for the industry. And so I don't expect him to sit on national television and says that the vetting committee should allow people to bring their proposal. Even the minister designate knows what he's supposed to present to the vetting committee. And so this is not something he must sit here and say. It is total lies, because 90 submission that he did.
I think that genuinely, and I would like to disagree with you, Jesse, because in the past we have seen, I have watched several vetting proceedings, and I always get disappointed on some of the questions that I ask, because I'm saying that there are certain industries that you can use theory to get yourself into the space, and there are other industries that need it. Let's say, I'm coming.
So, Bini, you want to sit here and tell me so you want to sit here and tell me that over the years, people come to the vetting committee without them asking what their proposals are.
When we finish the show, we'll go and watch the rest of the vetting.
And we have a conversation on this as well.
Yes. You and I, we're going to watch it and see if you were impressed. I have never been impressed with any vetting process.
That's fine. That's fine. We are here to see it. We are here to see it.
We're going to look at that. So, ladies and gentlemen, the conversation continues on www.mx24.app/voting voices, and of course on our platforms as well. On all social media platforms is MX24. Gentlemen, thank you so much.
So maybe I'll not get time again.
You don't get time again.
Hey, Mimi. Hey, that's what you are. You are laughing now. That's what you are.
But she's also laughing.
But I told you that the conversation will be extended because we have 120 days to be behind this government.
Sure. Yes, and we are expecting to start working. We are expecting we are expecting the 24-hour economy. You know, we are expecting those taxes to be abolished. We are expecting him to touch on the galamsey issues. So we are expecting him to start working as never. Yeah, exactly. Yes, we are expecting, because he only have one term as a president. He's just a one-term president.
For 8 years, the only thing you could talk about is 3 years. You are here. We are 4 days into administration.
Of the show. My name is Miriam. We're going to be getting into other big conversations later on the show. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Miriam. Always a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to be here with you. So please, moving straight to the plug right after this.
it a torn apart or you don't want it fixed? Many a times our reasons, it's feelings, it doesn't stand. Oh, is it a torn apart or you don't want it fixed? Yes, many a times our reasons, it's feelings, it doesn't stand. Don't you know the beauty of friendship, marriage and family? It's war worlds, our world together. Can we just protect it? Ekome, femo ke pamo. Yeah, honey, wobo e modi ake, woba fe kome. Oh, this while it takes to know one another. Bonds and ties, we should strive to keep it together. Ekome, femo ke pamo. Yeah, honey, wobo e modi ake, woba fe kome. 7 times, 70 times, our Savior says to exemplify. This is true love. Bitterness only reparts. There's no beauty in keeping scars. Don't you know the beauty of friendship, marriage and family? It's war worlds, our world together. Can we just protect it? Ekome, femo ke pamo. Yeah, honey, wobo e modi ake, woba fe kome. Ekome, femo ke pamo. Yeah, honey, wobo e modi ake, woba fe kome. Yes, all this while it takes to know one another. And bonds and ties, we should strive to keep it together.
Wow. Okay, we can now end the show. Thank you so much for coming. There was just so much you were saying in the song that I couldn't enjoy the beat or the instrument you were playing. I just wanted to hear every single word. What do you call the song?
So this is Bonds and Ties.
Bonds and Ties.
That's it.
Wow, I would have easily said this song is what they call me for.
That's fine.
Bonds and Ties. Yeah. What place in your life were you at? And by the way, this is Kofi Nkrumah. He's joining me this morning to serenade us with beautiful music, but also a great conversation. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I literally just wished you into the show like that. That's because you literally blew my mind. You didn't sing for me before we started the show.
Right.
I have not listened to you extensively, so I'm not sure what you were capable of doing until now.
Right.
Now I'm scared. Now I'm scared. Definitely. this music industry is blessed to have you. But where were you at in your life when you wrote the song?
Well, so basically, you know, our Christian journey is a great story of forgiveness that we weren't deserving of. And sometimes you can be so grateful to God how much He's forgiven you, but if you don't take care as a Christian, you wouldn't extend that to others. You know, so this song basically, as the Holy Spirit inspired, it's almost like He is very much intentional about unity. So for me, every song that comes, I believe it's a message to me first, before any other person hears it. So effort has gone into God deciding that you have to be in this family. This person is meant to be your friend. That's going to be your husband or your wife. It's taking time. It's taking heaven time. So don't just handle it anyhow. Especially in our day and age where it's easy for people to just
cut you off. I was going to ask you quickly still on the issue of loving each other and being there and even being so forgiving as God has forgiven us. What are your takes on boundaries? People creating all these boundaries and erecting all these walls to make sure that they do not get hurt. And because we have a society now, I dare say that we're living in a society full of hurt people who are hurting people.
I mean, it goes back to our family system. You know, that whatever we become, I mean, once you trace the background of the person, you can easily tell that this is why this person behaves this and that way, you know. However, we have to be open. It's not easy, as I'm making it sound. We have to be open to understand that challenges make us grow, you know. And so if we are in our own bubble, avoiding hate, how do we learn to love? And of course, I'm not saying go look for, hey, today I'm here so you hurt me so I learn to love, but definitely there is the necessary boundary you must give certain people, especially when it becomes life-threatening, you know. But I don't think we should play safe to the extent that we're not able to apologize, we're not able to receive apology. I hope
I think we have to have a special conversation on that and in another setting. But let's come back to your music career. Where have you been all these years?
Where have you been? I'm around
we just don't see. You are that Luigi McLean kind of boy.
Luigi, that's Uncle Luigi.
Uncle Luigi.
Yeah, but I've been around since 2016 actively.
Okay.
Yeah, but so I do write and release albums more than show up in person. So on every streaming platform, once you type Kofi Nkrumah, I've got 3 albums you can listen to for days.
Oh, lovely.
Yes.
Lovely.
Yeah.
What platforms are they on?
So Spotify, Apple, Boomplay, I mean, all the notable.
For a brand like yours that is, for lack of a better expression, is a little obscure in terms of personality. We cannot put a face to the songs that we listen to. How do you generate income?
Well, so that is something I had to learn very early.
Okay.
My first single came out when I was doing my national service. So then I knew that, look, especially in Ghana, if you're going to do gospel music for money, you have to be mindful in the sense that you don't want to depend on people necessarily before you say, I'm going to make music using this income. So then I knew that, look, I have to apportion a certain amount of money from the work I do. You know, and obviously the benevolence of family and friends.
Okay.
Yeah, but in terms of income, for music directly, I mean, everyone wants to be on the streaming platform, but you should know you have to be raking in like very high numbers. You know, so I would say yes, there's a certain amount that comes, but that's even to keep it on the platform.
On the platform, because I know you pay for these, and they're not small money.
That's it. So personally, and this is just my personal. You just have to, especially once you're doing it for Jesus, be keen on impact.
Yeah. Oh.
And definitely, he gives you more than what money gives. You know, yeah, be keen on impact.
Because there are people advocating for you to be paid for so many things.
No, it is necessary because, I mean, when you go to the studio, you have to pay for stuff. Yeah. And music is one area, the production of things seem abstract. You know, if I were a carpenter, I have my work tangibly to show for. But I'm just singing. People are sensing, feeling, and so sometimes significance is not necessarily attached to it when you want to pursue it. You know, however, music is what keeps our world going. You know, and so I'm for the fact that there should be structure that makes it easy for any young person. So you realize that we have a lot of people. It's like you have to go to a certain age before, you know.
And start making.
But ideally, we should have teenagers doing gospel music.
And because I think the conversation from that side was, if you're younger, you don't understand the God you are preaching, and so you need to gather more experience. But that is my opinion. That's my opinion because I've heard it before, and that's what the explanation was. I was like, that is very primitive. But I'm sorry. If that's what you think, okay, that's it. I want us to use this interview because again, that's what we do on the plug to bring. Budding talent, creatives that deserve the screens, to have that kind of attention that they need to push forward. So that is what I want us to make this interview to be about. How do we connect with you? How do we find your songs? How do we put a face to the very beautiful songs that you've written, but you've decided to go and stay at the back?
Okay, so once you type Kofi Nkrumah on every social media platform, you find me. And also on any streaming platform, just Kofi Nkrumah.
Kofi Nkrumah,
yes.
That's it.
So just look out for Journey, Love Letter 2. Yeah, those are my...
Then I'm going to try to end this interview by saying that you're not exactly a very traditional gospel musician. You do a bit of motivational songs as well.
I am.
Okay.
I am. Now, you see, it's easy to say not traditional because in terms of uniqueness, you find that sometimes people have to sound a certain way before, you know, they are in quote accepted.
Yeah.
But some of us, we are keen on making sure we're obeying.
That is why you are so where you are. But I believe that this uniqueness of brands is what sells you at the right time. Yes. Who would you want a collaboration with this year if you're given the opportunity?
Quite a number.
Hey, give me three.
Yeah, so I've got a bias towards urban gospel rappers. So, I mean, my good friend Rush. Rush, he's been here. In fact, it's through him I came. So definitely him. B Maestro, amazing guy. I want another with him. Obviously Belak.
These are all very urban guys. So, gentlemen, we see where you are driving at. This year, we want to see a banger from you. And so, this has been a conversation with Kofi Nkrumah right here on The Plug. He said Kofi Nkrumah on all social media platforms. Please connect with him. You saw what he did here this morning. Amazing stuff. Please connect with him. Let's jump onto his music. Let's make it happen for the gentleman. Thank you so much, Kofi, for coming through. We're going to have a very big time with you when that song comes out. Okay? Yeah, that's right. We are tasking him. This year, we're holding everybody accountable. My name is Miriam Uduak-Mensah. This has been the AM Club on MX24. Please make sure to stay right here on the platform with us. On all social media platforms, it's at MX24 on all social media platforms. Please connect with us. Let's interact and stay connected together right here on the show. See you again tomorrow. It's from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.